by the light of the sun, by the depth of the moon, by the flame of the wand, and by the pentacle of earth, I call upon the guides of wisdom, the ancestors of the craft, and the holy guardian angel. Guide us now through the stations of the dove and serpent. Reveal what is hidden, that we may transform it into light. Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. Today we walk the path of the Dove and Serpent spread, an 11-fold journey of transformation. Each position reveals a unique aspect of your journey, alternating between the essence of your being and the events that help to shape your destiny. Remember to hit the like button and consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Scorpio, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And position 1, right, is called the station. This is your general character. This is kind of how you see yourself, right? It's the 5 of Wands. This is the card of struggling. This is the card of wrestling. This is the card of fighting, right? Our core energy right now feels like it is frustrated. It feels like it is kind of keyed up here, right? It is, we're pushing back, you know? We're standing up against something that we're not just going to lie down and accept, right? We're fighting for something. We're a fighter. Yeah. This card's asking, like, what are we fighting for? What is driving us? Where is our attention fixed? What is that thing that it's a matter of willpower? What is that thing that's demanding we look at it? Okay, so it's something that we're being drawn to, something that our attention is being diverted toward it, and it's kind of saying, like, we've got to change something. Yeah, this is not the card of a change happening. It's not the card of wanting a change or thinking about change. It's the card of recognizing what it is that needs to be changed, where we need to put our energy, where our focus needs to be, right? Where our attention should be placed right now. Let's put this card into a little bit of context, all right? We're going to use the rest of our Dove and Serpent spread. Here we have a 4 of Swords. We have a 10 of Wands. We have the Magician. We have a Princess of Wands. We have, a Wheel of Fortune. Very, very good. We've got the Art or Temperance card. We have a Princess of Pentacles, a 6 of Pentacles, and a 4 of Wands. Interesting, the 4 and the 4. We have also divine timing. We have human time, right? The larger cycles of life and our own personal cycles. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. And let's just set it down over here with Mr. Tao, the yin-yang duck, right there on top. Now, we're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together, and it will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any point during this message you feel like you might know what that card could be, put your prediction in the comments down below. Now, as we look around the room, we see major, and major. Okay, the Magician, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Temperance card. We've got fire. Ooh, a pillar of fire. A lot of fire right here, and fire here as well. We don't have any water. I guess that makes sense. We're all about the fire right now, right? We have air, and then we've got a couple of earth cards. Yeah. So what is this air card? This is the battlefield. Okay, the 4 of Swords. What we're battling right now is that part of us that says, don't fight. This is the card of truce. This is a card of saying it's not worth fighting over. This is the card that says, well, choose your battles. And it's kind of like there is this other part of us that's saying, yeah, I have. This is what I want to fight for, you know? So I feel like we're kind of conflicted. There's this part of us that says, it is what it is. Let me just, let me just accept it. It's fine. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm not gonna try to change anything. I'm just gonna let it be, right? But then there's that part of you, that part that we're really truly identifying with right now, that's saying, no, I'm not just gonna let something be. If I can change it, I'm gonna change it. If I could do something about it, I'm gonna do something about it. It's kind of like you turned in the paper and the professor didn't like it. You got a bad grade. Oh, I'll get them next time. No, I'm going to get them now. I'm going to do something to rewrite it. I'm going to ask if I can turn it in. I'm going to get an extension. There's something we can do, right? So the Four of Swords seems to be that the quest, right, for you now is to overcome this idea in our minds that, well, it'd just be easier if I just let it go. We don't want to let everything go, not all the time, because the Four of Swords is kind of a truce. It's kind of like saying, okay, nobody wins. Whereas you've got this, this is the competitive energy. This is the game ends in a tie. Well, we're going to go extra innings, If it ends in a tie, I say, okay, well, we need to have a rematch. We need to do it again. I'm not just going to let things just be the way they are and just try to accept them if I can do something about it. Now that's the big sort of thing here, right? Because we can't fight for everything. We do have to pick our battles. And it'd be better if we applied our energy, if we focused on something that we can actually change, that I can do something about this. And I don't have to just let it be. I don't have to let it go. I can change it. I can fix it. I can work on it. I can apply my energy to it. I can give it my attention, and I can influence it in some way. Might as well at least try. Okay. So it's interesting. We have the 5, the 4. We've got another 4 of the 4 of Wands. Because 5s are movement and motion. 4s are relative stability. Anytime we get a 5, we start looking for the 4. Anytime we get a 4, we start looking for the 5. So this is all about, like, how do we choose what things to make a fuss over and what things to just say, man, I'm not going to worry about it. Because, yeah, sometimes it's just a matter of letting things go, right? I keep knocking Mr. Dow over. Look at that. With this pillar of fire here, it feels like we are really right now somebody who maybe this is really what we need. Maybe this is the card that's saying, let's just let it go. Whatever the 5 is, it feels like this is frustration, this is anger, this is like I'm ready to fight. Maybe this is the card, this is the quest for you, is to say, you know what, it's not worth it. Yeah, maybe I could step up and do something and influence it or change the outcome in some way, but is it really worth that effort? Is this something that I should practice just surrendering? The quest seems to be figuring that out, but I can see that with the other cards here, you're already pretty fired up. So a little bit of temperance might be a good idea here. Because if we are too identified with our anger or frustration with this energy, we kind of get like, how like they say when you're angry, you just see red, and everything is just red. When you're a hammer, right, everything looks like a nail. So this card is at the very least asking us to take a breath, to put a little bit of logic into what's going on right now. If we're just purely this pillar of fire, we're gonna go scorched earth. We have to try to take a little step back, okay? Get some other perspectives. Think about it in some other ways. At least ask the questions. Do I need to fight for this? Is there a different way? What is the way forward? Is this just a brute force kind of thing? Is there some kind of tact or strategy that I can use here to get through the situation and get a better outcome? I think by a combination of your intensity and your rational thought, your calm sort of demeanor, if we can muster it, I think that you're more likely to get a very positive outcome here. Okay, so this is the quest anyway. Down beneath the surface, in position number 3, this is the position of your soul. This is a character card, right? It reveals an unconscious drive. And this is something hidden within you. And this feels like we're at the boiling point. We're at the tipping point. There's something that we're like level 10 pissed off about something. I don't think it's just about whatever this conscious situation is. This is telling me that you're angry over other things. That all this, this kind of intensity, I don't want to call it rage or anger, but you might call it that if you want. But this is coming from some other place. Okay? This is something inside of you that's saying, maybe I'm just looking for an excuse to find something to like vent my energy onto. Okay, so we could be looking inside and saying, wait, why am I so upset about this? Is it really that big of a deal? Maybe the Four of Swords is saying, whoa, wait a minute, just let's breathe. Let's breathe through our feelings. Four of Swords is very often a card of like box breathing and meditation and calming ourselves down, relaxing, learning how to manage our emotions. I'm getting all angry. Okay, count to 10, breathe deeply to find out, gosh, why am I so pissed off about this? Is this really, did this little incident, whatever it is, did this really set me off that much? Or is there something else going on? Is this just the straw that's going to break the camel's back? Okay, is this just the final thing in this accumulation of frustrating events that now this is the final, that's it, I can't take it anymore? Because this is already like maxed out level 10. And I wonder if right now you're under a lot of pressure and you're feeling a lot of stress in life from a lot of different areas. Whatever is happening now that you're thinking, I got to go and I got to, I've got to fight, whatever. I wonder if that is just a way for you to feel like all of this pressure can be released somewhere, but maybe there's a better way, I don't know what the incident is. I'm kind of feeling like it's involving a younger female. Maybe it's a work thing. Something's going to set you off. Maybe it hasn't happened yet. Some little thing is going to happen, and all of this fire energy is going to come to the surface. Because right now it's being stored up underneath. You see, it's being stored up underneath you here. And when this little thing happens, we want to be able to calm ourselves down, and we want to be able to breathe through it and figure out if this is really the right strategy. Okay, this is something in you that's seeking expression. It's not a bad thing, but it's saying, look, all these frustrations have been piling up. And now there's something that needs to be done with all of this energy. We really have to pay attention to this and honor this before it comes up and sort of leads us to a behavior that we're not so interested in the consequences, But the position 4 is the dwarf position. This is the unresolved event is what this is, right? This is the magician card. Sometimes this is a card of a transaction, a business deal, a conversation maybe. I kind of wonder if this is like somebody, they didn't outright deceive you, but they weren't being fully honest with you either. Okay? It's kind of like you get like one pushy salesperson after another. And okay, if one more person tries to call me with some kind of debt relief or something, I'm going to lose it, right? Because I feel like this is just, it's like me with those, with the spam comments that we get on the channel, right? Those channels that try to impersonate me, they use my face, they use my Dove and Serpent tarot, but it's usually got some goofy graphics or some other numbers and letters after the name, right? Does not have the check mark. Don't fall for that. And they're saying, oh, bless you, child, call my WhatsApp. That's not me. And very often I think if I get one more of those fake people on there, I'm going to lose it, right? And all you can do is breathe and block them, report them, and try to delete the comments, but they keep popping up. This is that fake kind of energy that I don't want to have one more person, in my face that's acting like this, because I don't know what I'm going to do. I feel like this is the straw, right? And this may be if, one more person says this thing to you, or if one more person is going to try to sell you this thing, or tell you about this other thing, or ask you the same question again, or it feels like it's been too many of this kind of a person in your space, and there's a growing frustration. Okay, and this may have to do with a work thing. If one more person asks me about the TPS reports, that's it. Or if it's happening in a relationship or at home, at school, or something, it's maybe it's I don't know, maybe it does have something to do with business or commerce or some sort of transaction. I feel like it's somebody that is just not really being all that authentic. Somebody that's trying to give you a line, somebody that's trying to sell you on something. Yeah. And what we see next is the fifth position here. And it's the giant, right? This is kind of the driving force. This is your dominant motivation. Acting without thinking, all right? This is the impulse. This is literally the impulse, right? It's impulse to behavior. It's saying, I'm being stimulated by my environment, this person. That person is pushing my button, and I react. Immediately, you push a button, you get the movement. And we're trying to disconnect that button. We're trying not to be so reactive. Maybe this person knows how to push your buttons. Maybe they've been pushing your button for a long time. And it's like, if they push my button one more time, But we want to think. This is the card really that says we need to put some thought between our impulse and our behavior. And we do that by breathing, by getting out of the situation, removing ourselves, calming ourselves down, meditating, whatever, being thoughtful, kind of, counting to 10, breathing, before we respond. Because otherwise, we're just a machine. We're just a robot. You push a button, you get a behavior. And maybe this person knows that, and they've been doing that, and they want to get that reaction from you. Don't let them win. Don't let them get that. See, this is the card of success, right? This is what we want. We want to formulate the correct response so that we can deal with this situation in a very mature, very enlightened way, but where we can get what we want out of this. This is how I want them to stop calling me, right? Well, instead of just yelling at them on the phone, I can block their number, I can talk to their manager, I can tell them to stop calling, put me on the do not call list or whatever, I can change my number. There are other things I can do. Flipping out is not really going to help, is it? But that's what this card does. This is impulse to behavior. There's no buffer. We put the air in there as the buffer. Now, if this were the Knight of Wands, right, we'd say, do whatever your gut tells you to do. Just follow it. Let your impulse guide you because it's the correct impulse. This is you kind of like, I don't want to behave that way. And I know that I need to sort of calm myself down before I do something that I'm going to maybe regret later. I say something I shouldn't say, or, especially if this is a family thing or a work thing, we kind of want to take a beat, and we want to pause before we react. Okay. But this is kind of that impulse. This is like, I really want to react, But that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to draw this reaction out of you. Don't let them win. Okay? Now, the next card is position 6. It's the Imago. This is the next step, the future events for you. The wheel is going to turn. Well, a card of karma, right? I kind of wonder that if we can refrain from action right now, if we can temper this fire energy, I wonder if the trash is going to take itself out. I wonder if the Wheel of Fortune is kind of saying, look, trust in the universe. Don't do anything. Everything's going to work out in your favor. So it's kind of saying by not doing anything right now, you're going to let this other person or this other energy or whatever it is, they're going to end up sabotaging themselves. You don't have to lift a finger, right? Karma. Karma's going to come back around. And very often that's kind of how it works. If we are provoked to a reaction, we lost. The longer we can hold out and contain ourselves when we're really we really are like chomping at the bit, the longer we can hold back and restrain ourselves and breathe, better chance we have of the situation resolving on its own, and we're looking pretty nice. We're looking pretty spiffy at the end of it, right? This is the card of faith, hope, and trust. Your next step here is not a reaction. Your next step here is not some kind of, it's not a small card. It's a major arcana energy. It's nothing for you to do except to have faith, hope, and trust in the universe and the timing, the divine timing. And you're going to see that this situation is going to resolve with such synchronicity that you're going to think, okay, somebody's got my back. You know, if this was a 5 of Pentacles, if this was a Swords cards, if this was some kind of fire energy, I'd say, yeah, you've got to do something. This is a card that's saying you don't have to do anything except for wait. And that's usually the most difficult thing to do. But this is what's going to be in your best interest. To trust that the universe is going to arrange things and work things out on your behalf where you do not have to. You're being told to just kind of stay put and not react, right? Postpone your reaction as long as possible. Now, Path of the Serpent, we're going to talk about these cards over here. And as we do, I would like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. And if there's anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Yeah. Now, your persona, right, is the position 7. This is the way other people see you. People see you as being very mild-mannered. You're somebody who tries to be very tempered in your responses. Someone that's very not easily provoked. Somebody that can pause between impulse and behavior. People don't see the seething fire that's surging in you right now and all this intense frustration. They see you as somebody that can kind of play it cool, can monitor and temper our reactions and not go to an extreme. Somebody that's kind of taken that very, very balanced and stable middle road. And we want other people to see this. This is exactly the persona you want in this situation, right? The card of Temperance. It couldn't be any more perfect. People don't need to know how angry and pissed off you are under the surface here. You want people to see this. This is a persona. This is your public presentation, self-presentation, the costume that you're wearing in the theater of life, right? And we want people to see this. This is the good one. Yeah. We want to, and of course, people see this and maybe this invites other people to try testing you. Oh, okay, Scorpio, they're really stoic. Let me see if I can push their buttons. And so people are going to try. And I think it's better for us to project this image of balance, of calm, of composure, of equanimity. And I think this is how you kind of you're going to come out of this looking really good. People need to know all the fire that's under the surface here. All people are going to see is you handled it well. You were in control of yourself. You were disciplined. You didn't let yourself, rage out. You handled it very well. And I think this is going to lead to you, if it's at work, this is going to lead to you getting a lot of praise at work, promotion, or you're just going to be thought more highly of, by the boss or whatever. it's kind of taking the high road. Yeah, all this fire energy that we see on this side, all this fire energy, but your thoughts, your reasonable thoughts are saying, let's hold off here. Let's breathe, and maybe let's see if the universe will kind of undo this situation for us. Maybe we don't even have to lift a finger. Yeah, and I think that's exactly what's going to happen. In the environment, you have the Princess of Pentacles. Feels to me like this is a work situation. Feels to me like there is a younger female energy that is very jealous of you and what you have achieved and who you've become. And I'm not excusing the behavior because they're jealous, because they admire you, that they're going to, interfere with your life, or they're going to push buttons, or they're going to tell you a line, or they're going to try to do whatever they're doing. It's not an excuse, right? But this is that person, I think, that is provoking you and pushing your buttons. They may be an earth sign person, maybe a younger female energy. Getting a K, letter K name, first or last initial, yeah. They want what they don't have. You have what they want, okay? And you want to keep having what they want. You don't want to lose that. We don't want to transfer what we have to somebody else, okay? So we have to keep ourselves contained. Now, this is the position of the shadow. This is the position of the environment, right? These are those events in your environment, the circumstances that are testing you, the person that is testing you, stirring up all this existing frustration. It's not that we're so mad at them. Under normal circumstances, this person bugs you, who cares? No big deal. But you're already very stressed out. You're already under a lot of pressure in this situation at work, at home, at school, whatever. And so this person is sort of providing that hair that's going to break the camel's back, you see. Now, the next position is position 9. It's the specter. And this is someone who's very successful. It shows our fears, worries, and concerns, right? The things that haunt us. And that's success. So in other words, the worry here is that this person is either going to take what you have or somehow sabotage what you have, and you're going to lose what you have. Okay? This could be that work situation, right? Where somebody is trying to maybe devalue your contribution, or someone might be trying to take credit for your contribution. Either way, it's diminishing your value in this otherwise harmonious circle of people. Okay? Someone trying to make you look bad, or take credit, or take something away from you. An accomplishment, a win. And they're trying to provoke that reaction from you, because by provoking the reaction, you do something that then takes your contribution away from the group, right? You diminish yourself. So they're trying to lure you into it, because they can't directly take something away from you. But if they act like they're doing it, and you respond in this way, you're taking it away from yourself, right? You're sabotaging yourself that way. So it really is abstaining from any action right now. As much as we want to, we don't want to lose what we have. This person doesn't have the power to take it away from you, but they can push your buttons, and those buttons can lead you to doing something that's going to diminish your standing in this group. Does that make sense? And so that's what our fear is. And that's why we're so worked up right now, because I think, for one, this is an accumulation of frustrations. This person by themselves, this one incident, is nothing, but it's an accumulation of things, okay? The last thing we want is to do anything that's going to jeopardize our success, our well-being, our standing in the group, whatever the 6 of Pentacles is, okay? Position 10 is the destiny, the event. The final outcome here is closure. Things are going to wrap up. This is the external event that is going to put an end to all of this. And this is the card of completion. This is the card of something being resolved. And I think we're pausing, we're trusting in spirit, trusting in karma, trusting in the universe, or whatever, to resolve this situation before we have to interfere. So anytime we get a 5, we start looking for the 4. I'm all worked up about something, and I just want it, I want to end it, right? If there's something that is bugging me, I want to get it away from me. I think we're doing that through not doing it. We're not the ones that are doing that. It's being resolved, but not by our own actions. Okay? So if we want the closure, the best thing that we can do now is trust in the universe. So the question now with the 4 of Wands, this position of the spread, the destiny position, is asking us, what's the best thing we can do now to put an end to this situation? If 2 people are fighting, one of them's going to have to sort of, take the high road and end it, and put a stop to it by refraining to engage, by abstaining, by not engaging anymore, or not engaging at all, right? We can end it before it even begins, in a way. So what choices do we have to make? How do we align our actions with this kind of closure? We want this person to stop doing this, whatever it is. I think the best way for us to do that is for us to not do anything. Yeah, it seems kind of counterintuitive, but it's a test. It's a real challenge for you because you have all this fiery energy. This is you putting it to rest. This is you containing that fire energy so that it does not burn you or anybody else. And trusting that things are going to unfold in your favor if we don't do anything. If we jump in right now, well, no guarantees it's going to work out well. If we hold ourselves back and we contain that energy, things are going to be better. Okay? Let's look at the mystery card. This is position 11. This is the guide. Reveals your higher self, your inner teacher, your deepest wisdom. Shows the character qualities that we have to develop in order to walk this path. I feel like we already have the persona here. We already have the outward mask of it. I think we have to develop that inner quality of peace, of restraint. Maybe this will be the strength card. Maybe this will be the chariot. Maybe this will be the death card. If you have a prediction, put it down in the comments. Let's see what we have. The strength card, yeah, perfect. This is the card of self-control. This is the card of us taming this fire energy, see? So we have all this fire and it wants to rage out. We want to just let it go. We would love to just like take the leash off the lion and say, go get him, lion, But we're not going to. We're going to keep the lion on the leash. We're going to keep ourselves calm. We're going to hold ourselves back. We're going to have that self-control and that discipline. That's the best thing we can do. Now, that's sometimes showing our strength. It's not about fighting and showing our strength, right? Sometimes the strongest person is the one that doesn't have to show it. Okay? It's easy to feel a rage and to let it out. It takes a much stronger character to hold that in, to contain it, to direct it, to be in control of it. Not to suppress it, not to, pretend that I'm not bothered. Maybe to release the energy somewhere else. Wait till you get home and find a friend you can vent to. Or, go to the gym or something, or find a punching bag, or scream into a pillow, or go do one of this now. This is silent screaming thing that people are doing. Find an appropriate way to release some of this tension, but to control our impulse to bare our teeth and to fight, to engage with this energy. Don't let this person draw you into a battle, okay? Control yourself, and you will come out on top here. I like this card. I think this is perfect. Please let the lessons of these 11 stations settle into your heart. Each card is a mirror. Each station is a temple of transformation. Remember, the tarot does not dictate your future. It reveals the patterns of possibility. It invites you to co-create your destiny. If this reading has illuminated your path in any way, please leave your reflections down below. Together we journey onward, ever upward, and ever inward. And we're going to do an extended reading as well if you want to stick around. We're going to do an I Ching hexagram. We're going to do some oracle cards. There is a link up top. There's a link down below. New readings for Scorpio on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Be sure to watch both readings. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you. I love you. And we're all in this together.